Hi everyone.
Hi.
Today we are making like a baked chicken and mushroom kind of dish. It's kind of hard to explain what it is, but it's delicious and it's great for dinner.
It's roasted chicken thighs with mushrooms. It's not that difficult to explain. But it is really yummy, and it's kind of like a two-step process. So you do some of the cooking on the top and then on like the stove top, and then you finish it off in the oven. But it's not anything complicated. It doesn't need any fancy ingredients or anything. So we do have some chicken thighs here that are skin on and bone in.
So we find those at the deli is the easiest part of our Coles and Woolworths to find them with the skin on or the bone in, or your butcher would probably be the other good place to find it.
Yeah, they don't usually have them in the kind of pre-packaged stuff, but they do have them at the deli counter. And then we've also got 500 grams of mushrooms. I've just got a combination of brown and button, but you could use whatever mushrooms. Some French shallots or eschalots, those kind of small,
little brown onion
oniony looking things. I really prefer those, but you could use regular onion too. Some of our chicken bone broth, and we're going to use some of this simply organic adobo seasoning to season the chicken. So we actually get this one from iHerb, but if you don't have it, if you Google adobo seasoning,
you can make your own.
Yeah, so what it's got in it is salt, garlic, onion, black pepper, oregano, bay leaf and turmeric. I really like this seasoning with chicken, but you could also use kind of just sort of like an all-purpose type seasoning. But I'm going to pop 2 tablespoons of this over our chicken and just make sure it's really well coated on both sides.
So we'll pop a link for the adobo seasoning from iHerb in the description below. We also have a code, so we'll pop that in the description below. If you don't have chicken bone broth or bone broth that you've made your own, you can use chicken stock from the supermarket. We like the Maggie beer one because it tends to be the cleanest ingredients that we've found at the supermarket, but we tend to make our own and we usually have it in the freezer, so we just got this out of the freezer quite easy.
There's also that Campbell's bone broth.
Oh yes, in a gold kind of
plastic
container. The bottle's kind of tall and thin. That is also pretty good. Now xanthan gum, we get questions about xanthan gum in...
Oh, I don't think I even mentioned that, did I?
We're putting xanthan gum in it at the end because that thickens it up. So with xanthan gum, we get a lot of questions about where to find it. People are finding it in Coles and Woolworths now in the health food section.
Yeah, Woolworths even have a macro brand.
Oh, do they? And it lasts forever. Yeah. You literally use the smallest amount to thicken sauces. If you're going to use it to thicken sauces, it's really important to go slow with it. Like add a small amount, let it kind of sit for a bit and see how it thickens, because if you use too much, it goes quite slimy.
Yes, so just be careful with that. And yeah, sorry, we are using that at the end just to thicken our sauce, and we're also going to use some ghee just to fry everything off. So you do need some, like it is good if you've got a pan like this that you can put on the stove top and then put into the oven. Otherwise you can just do everything in a fry pan up the top and then put it in like a casserole dish or something to pop in the oven. But this is what we're going to be using.
We love this.
So we might head over to the stove now and start frying off our chicken thighs. So we've just got our pan heating up and I've put some ghee in there. And now we're going to pop our chicken in skin side down. And we're just going to cook that brown.
So you might need to cook them in batches if you've got a smaller pan too, right?
Yes. Be able to get all of ours in. Okay, our chicken's been cooking for 5 minutes now. I'm just going to turn it over. So we're cooking it in the oven as well, so it doesn't have to be cooked through. We're just getting it started. And now I'll cook it another 5 minutes on that side, and then we'll add in our mushrooms and shallot. Now I'm going to take the chicken out. It's browned on both sides. And then turn the temperature down and we'll add in our shallots. We don't want to burn them, so make sure you turn the temperature down. We'll cook the shallots for a couple of minutes and then add in the mushrooms. The shallots has been cooking for a couple of minutes now, and I've still got plenty of ghee in the pan, but if your pan was dry you might want to add a little bit more in. But now we're going to add in the mushrooms, turn the heat up a bit and brown them off. Our mushrooms have been cooking for a few minutes now, so they've started browning off a bit, and we're going to add in our broth, and we want to get all of this goodness off the bottom of the pan, because that's where delicious. A lot of the flavour is from our chicken and our shallots. So we're just going to give it a bit of a scrape, bring it up to a simmer, and then we'll pop the chicken back on top and pop it in the oven. Now we want to put the chicken skin side up now because we want it to brown and go crispy. Oh. Make sure you put all the juices in. Now we'll pop it in the oven for about 30 minutes until the chicken is all cooked through and the skin's all crisped up.
And the oven is on 200 degrees Celsius.
Okay, our chicken is out of the oven and the skin's all browned and crispy.
It looks really good.
Smells really good in here. So what we're going to do is just take the chicken thigh pieces off the top, and then we're going to thicken up the sauce a bit with some xanthan gum, and then it's ready to serve.
Look at all those mushrooms. Yum.
So we're just going to use half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. As Dan was saying before, you want to be really careful with it because it can make things slimy. And I'm just going to kind of gently sprinkle it over, and then we'll stir it together. It's not going to make it like really thick, but it'll just give it a bit of body. What would you serve this with, Dan? What do you think would be nice with this, or just on its own?
On its own is fine because there's quite a lot of mushroom in that.
Yeah.
You could definitely do it with some steamed broccoli or cauliflower mash. Cauliflower mash would be a good one. Mm-hmm. Even some braised cabbage. We did braised cabbage with the meatballs recently and it was really good. I think it would go quite well with this recipe.
Yeah, I think cauliflower rice or cauliflower mash would be good to kind of sop up the sauce a little bit, I guess. Also, what we've done before is added a little bit of cream at this point and then put cognac noodles, so it's like a creamy mushroom noodle, and then with your chicken breast on the top.
Oh, you can see that has thickened.
Yeah, so you can see the sauce. It's
less watery than what it was.
It's definitely less watery, but it's not super thick.
It's not going to be like a gravy.
Yeah.
Because if you go for that, I'm going to tell you, you're going to get that sliminess.
Yeah, so you can see now it's just got a nice bit of texture to it.
And a shine. It's got a nice shine to it as well.
That's from the ghee, I think. But I'll dish you one up, Dan. I'll dish you up a little chicken thigh. Some of this yummy mushroom sauce, which has got all the chicken, you know, goodness in it as well. But you can see it is...
Yeah, that's
a
perfect.
Gravy type consistency.
Look at me.
Okay.
This has literally just come out of the oven, so it's going to be...
It has, but
the skin has got a crisp to it.
The chicken skin gets a nice crisp to it. But then because the thighs are sitting in the liquid, it makes them really tender underneath, which I think is really yummy.
That was so good. The sauce is rich and mushroomy, obviously, but the skin is like, yeah, delicious.
You've got the chicken kind of juices cooked into it, and then the nice kind of seasoning from the adobo seasoning. This dish is a real winner. Like, if you like chicken and mushrooms, definitely give this a go. And I think it's like, this is good for us as well because there's leftovers, so this is a very easy for Dan to take to work to lunch the next day.
Yep, perfect. Definitely give this recipe a try, guys. There's always a link for the recipes in the description below. If you've liked this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and thank you so much for watching. Bye. Bye.